everybody. Welcome to another Silicon Beach virtual pitch night. These do seem to come around fairly quickly, even though they happen once a month. So welcome to everybody who is here for the first time, and welcome to everybody who is here for the second, third, fourth, fifth, etc. It's always lovely to see all your faces and always great to have both new people and our repeat attendees. Whilst we are waiting for everybody, I'd just love to hear from everybody in the chat. Just maybe let us know where you're currently dialing in from and whether you are here as a founder or not a founder. Awesome, Melbourne founder. And actually, if you guys are a founder, I'd love to hear what is the name of your startup. It's always nice to share some information with the crew so we can keep supporting each other. Hi, Matt from Adelaide. A music producer, amazing. Ishita from Melbourne. Guri from Melbourne. Got a big Melbourne contingency here. Amazing. Indonesia. Welcome, Danny. Jacob is from Sydney. Lovely to have an international audience here with us today / tonight. So, and maybe who has been, just by a show of hands, who has attended a virtual pitch night for Silicon Beach before? Show of hands. Anybody? Yes. Great. Oh, good. Looks like we've got a whole lot of new people too. And for those that have jumped on, I'd really encourage you guys to turn your cameras on. We are here as a community. We want to, leverage these events as if we were in a live in-person environment. That is the whole purpose of being here. Especially if you are a founder, please show us your faces and who you are. We'll just keep on having more people coming in through our waiting room. Amazing. And the team's letting all of those guys in. So maybe we'll give them another 1 minute, and that at 5:35 Melbourne time, and whatever time it is for everybody else, we are going to continue with tonight's or today's or this morning's or this evening's proceedings. All right. Fabulous. So for those that I have not as yet met, my name is Anna Osherov, and I really specialize in marketing, sitting at the intersection of technology and marketing education. My aim is to aid small business owners on their mission for visibility and progress. I'm an entrepreneur, an educator, and an eventologist, the CEO and founder of Flint and Flint Ignite Academy. My clients are visionary leaders, and they are making a difference in the world, one successful event at a time. My passion is working with small businesses, education, but also travel and enjoying this beautiful world that we all live in. Now, before we move on with our housekeeping for the evening, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that I am currently standing on here today, the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung people. I pay respects to their elders past and present and emerging, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people of today. So thank you everybody for joining us, and wherever you are, Womanjika. So I'd like to begin tonight by starting with the primary mission of Silicon Beach, and it's really to empower founders. As such, our vision is to create an environment where founders, such as yourselves, can feel supported, educated, and empowered to fulfill their startup vision and values. And we're in particular excited about founders, startups, and ideas in support of the United Nations Sustainability Goals. I'm sure everybody's heard of this, but if you haven't, I highly recommend for you to make yourself familiar with the United Nations 17 Sustainability Goals. So tonight is all about providing a platform for founders and startup owners to feel supported, comfortable, open, and connected. I trust everybody is in that mindset. Here with me, give me a yes or a nod. Fabulous, fabulous. And again, for those that don't yet have their cameras on, please pop your cameras on. We will be taking a photo shortly. We would love to have your face, not just your name, in our pictures. Thank you for Syed for being brave. Okay, so with our housekeeping, please note that we are recording this pitch night. You guys are responsible for your own audio, so make sure that you mute your audio, that there's no extra noises, and when it is your turn to speak or to pitch, make sure that you unmute yourself previous to speaking. We've all heard numerous times, you're on mute. So let's make sure that we are managing our own audio. We also encourage you to use the chat to communicate with each other. So as we go through the evening and we are listening to people's pitches, please provide some support. Okay? Pop something into the chat. Let them know they did a great pitch. That's a great idea. Maybe you'd like to connect with that person and make sure that we do encourage and support our pitches in the chat. All right, so we are going to take a group photo. So for those that don't have their cameras on, again, please do pop your cameras on, even if it's just for this time. I love a walk and talk, Simon. It's my favorite thing to do. All right, so on the count of 3, I'm going to push this little button that says take a photo, and we are going to take a photo. 1, 2, 3, smile. That's great. That took a photo of me. Let's try that one more time. Going to close that and close that. Make this a big full screen. Oh, I've got plenty to let one more person in. Come on in. He's dropping in. All right. So let's try this one more time. There we go. Hi, Hind. We're just about to take a photo, so we'd love for your camera to be on and to see your smiling face. All right. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. All right. We got a full screen picture down here in the corner. We will be sharing that on our social, so you will get a chance to be tagged in that if we know who you are. Fabulous. All right. So I will be introducing our judges and the prizes up for grabs tonight, and they are great prizes. It's always worthwhile to pitch and get something in response. But before I introduce our judges and our prizes, I'd just like to take a quick moment to actually acknowledge our community sponsors and partners, because without these, we would not be able to create such a great community as the Silicon Beach community. So our community and affiliate members really help this organization run by supporting all the activities we do for our community, including this very, very important activity. So our sponsor for this evening is Paymate. With over a decade of experience, 100 plus clients, and nothing but 5-star online reviews, Paymate is the partner of choice for founders across Australia wanting to bring their app or SaaS, software as a service, business idea to market, from prototype design and MVP development to marketing and fundraising support. Paymate help startup founders to get success faster and safer. Their mission is to make app entrepreneurship accessible to anyone with an idea and see Australian founders thrive in the global tech startup scene. So thank you so much, Paymate. Let's give them a big woo, yay. Thanks, guys. Fabulous. And on the topic of Paymate, we actually have 2 of the founders of Paymate here as our judges, and I will introduce them shortly. But we also have some great community members, such as Flint, Legally Yours, CFO Works, Think, Innovate, Be Mighty, and also Ideas Spies, who have an added bonus present for one of our winners. And we do also work with some really great academic partners, such as Monash University Faculty of Information Technology, RMIT Graduate School of Business and Law, and also Swinburne University. So you can see we are supported by some great companies, great sponsors, and really great organizations across the world. So it is now time for me to introduce you guys to your judges for this evening and the prizes that are up for grabs. So as I mentioned earlier, we have two founders of Paymate. So first, I'd like to introduce to you Barath. He is the CEO at Paymate. He's the founder and the CEO of Paymate.com, and also he's the co-founder of a few tech startups. So you know that he knows what he's doing. Barath has spent the last 10 years working with 100+ startup founders and enterprise leaders in innovative and disruptive projects. He has hands-on experience in everything from validation to design, development, launch, fundraising, and marketing of startups, especially the app and SaaS-based startups. So that is judge number one from Paymate. Judge number two is Oscar. So Oscar has over 35 years experience in helping owners and founders work smarter to get more results, to raise capital, and to exit. In his previous life, he has worked in both large and small companies as a management consultant and is also a licensed business broker. So he knows what he's talking about when it comes to exiting a business. He leads the Germinate program at Paymate, coaching founders on how to successfully raise funds and exit their businesses. And so it might come to you as a surprise, but tonight's prize from Paymate is access to the Germinate Seed Funding Program. It's a 12-week program which covers a variety of topics on seed funding and includes story and pitch, really important, that's why we're all here today, revenue model and business plan, capital raise structure and identifying capital sources, and much, much more to get startups ready for seed fundraising. So that is their prize for one lucky pitcher tonight. So thank you guys so much. Yeah, let's give them a hand. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Our third judge for this evening is James Spurway. Now, James is a superstar, but he's also a business builder, angel syndicate lead investor, startup accelerator mentor, and a demo day judge, as well as for philanthropics. He's an author. He's a former commercial pilot. That's what it says right there in front of me. He believes that genius is widely distributed, but opportunity is not. So genius, widely distributed, but opportunity is not. He's an active mentor at 500 Global, as well as a mentor and judge at Creatella Impact, a social venture impact accelerator. He's previously spent several years contributing as an adjunct lecturer on sales and marketing and finance subjects at Singapore-based colleges. He is known as the Fundraising Angel by many startup teams, and he has mentored, invested in, and then helped raise pre-seed and seed funding for multiple startups and organizations. He's originally from the country of Queensland and has lived and worked in the USA, in Europe, and in several countries in Asia during his corporate and entrepreneurial journey. As well as his work as a startup angel, mentor, fundraising advisor, he actually helps established SME CEOs in his capacity as a certified entrepreneurship and business life coach. He's always been an outsider, a misfit, a square peg in a round hole. He's still a rebel today, even though he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't party too much. And he is now 62 years young. So welcome, James. Let's give him a hand. Yay. Woo. And today, James is also giving away a really cool prize. So for another lucky pitcher, James will be providing them a bundle of advisory services worth $997 US, and that's including pitch deck check, financial model check, cap value calculation check, and a 30-minute fundraising strategy session. So as you can see, we have absolutely amazing judges and really, really good prizes. So for those who are here to pitch, congratulations for being brave, for putting your name down, and for really putting yourself out there to practice this craft that is pitching. And the more we do it, the more feedback we get, the better we get at it. And as a bonus, you can win a prize. So let me just give you a bit of an agenda for tonight's proceedings. So each pitcher will have 90 seconds to pitch. That's what you've got. You've got 90 seconds. Please make sure you keep your eye on the clock. Be fair to your fellow participants, to everybody here and to your other pitchers. Make sure that you do stick to your 90 seconds. There will be a sound. When you've reached the 90-second mark, please make sure that you wind up. You will get a chance to add anything else in the feedback time after your pitch. So once you've had your 90-second pitch, after each pitch, the judges will have 5 minutes between them to ask questions, to provide feedback to all our pitchers. And again, for those judges, for you who are judging, there will also be a timer. So please do keep an eye on the time, and I will be supporting you to make sure that we get through every single pitcher this evening. So we'll see how we go. We do have a pretty good, fully booked pitching agenda, but if we do have time at the end, then we could make a call out for impromptu pitches. So if somebody's sitting there and they have been feeling like they want to pitch and it's bubbling away at them and we have a bit of time, we will be able to give you an opportunity. However, it is an opportunity for you to pitch your startup. It is not an opportunity for you to pitch for business from this community. There are different events that are around for that, and I encourage you to attend those events as well, but this is not one of them. So please make sure if you do want to do an impromptu pitch, you are specifically pitching your startup. All right. So that means that we are up to that really cool time where we are going to introduce our very first pitcher. Get a bit of a, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but a bit of a drum roll. So our very first pitcher is Guri Sandhu from YouMod. Guri, please unmute yourself, and whoever's timing, please have the timer ready, and we'll start it as soon as you start speaking, Guri.
Yeah, I'm ready. Cool. So we have a housing shortage globally, and builders are struggling to cope. The demand for new house builds is high, but builders cannot meet these requirements. On the other side, they are collapsing. More than 2,000 builders went into liquidation last year in Australia. The primary issue is the cost of construction. Customers cannot afford high prices, and builders find it challenging to build inexpensively due to high labor cost and skill shortages. Although the cost of material is not that high. To address these issues, we introduce YouMod, where builders can streamline various processes. Our initial focus is on simplifying the customer interaction, and builders don't have to waste long hours with customers. Large builders spend ample on sales staff and display homes nationwide. And most small to medium-sized builders lack the resources to interact extensively with customers. So our solution, YouMod, allows customers to configure their houses online. And currently, this is only available in 2D, but we plan to upgrade to 3D configurator, providing detailed information about the house, different options to choose, including pricing and availability. And we are currently developing our MVP and aiming to launch between February to March. Initially, we will test it for smaller builds, such as tiny houses and modular homes. And we are looking to establish a network with people, organizations who support these challenges in this housing industry.
Wow, perfect timing there. Well done, Guri. Okay, let's give him a hand. All right. Who would like to provide some feedback first? Barath, James, Oscar? Go, James.
Okay, great pitch. Understand the product, understand the problem, and I think the solution. So you're doing B2B. Is your client base going to be, or direct B2C? Is it going to be anyone in between, or is it just you and the masses coming online and actually starting to play with your product, which allows them to then design, I guess, from a set of structures, what they want? Where does a builder meet the person who wants to get the house?
You're on mute, Guri.
Sorry, I didn't put on mute. I'm sorry. So yes, builders have two options. One option will have sort of marketplace where customers can compare and choose builders, and other option will have builders. So when customer going to walk to the builders and they can direct to their portfolio directly from there. So it will be just linked to their online platform.
Okay, so you're just building this as like a one-off and tailoring it for each builder, or it's like a white label, it's like a unique, simple product that then they put their badging or their logos and their IP on to have it as their platform. You see what I'm coming to? Is it like you being the gateway, or is it like you doing a lot of deployments for each of those builders?
So it'll be two options, yeah. So one is the marketplace where that is been comparable between all the builders, and once builder have their own portal as well, where they can link to the builder as well.
Okay, and are you raising at the moment?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Fabulous. Barath, Oscar?
Yeah, I've got a couple of questions. Guri, you started off your pitch by saying that one of the problems was the cost of construction and the cost of materials and subcontractors.
That's right.
And then you went on to your pitch, which was about, I think, saving sales staff in the developers. How much of a cost is the sales staff in the developers? Like, how much of an impact could this possibly make?
It will make huge impact because, you know, as we can see, the large builders, they have like sales staff available throughout the countries, and they have like display homes available where customer can walk and, you know, get into the contract. But it takes a long process. Whereas other sites, small builders, they don't have much sales staff and they don't have display homes, and they're struggling to interact with customers. So it will solve both problems, where for big builders, they don't have to spend a lot of on display homes with sales staff, and small builders, they can, you know, they don't have to have that sort of thing, and they can connect with customers quite easily.
Have you tested that with customers at all? I mean, like I know I've got children who have built a home in Sydney and elsewhere, and they've always gone to see the quality finishes of a display. I'm not sure how they would go picking off you know, even one of the best 3D options. Like touching and feeling.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, definitely customer they want to go and see and get the feeling about the house, but they don't want to go every time. Like every customer, they're not gonna buy just seeing one house. They have to explore a lot. So with online portfolio, like they will get a lot more options and to give, compare and see where they need to do. Like even they can get feeling of the house, and they don't have to spend too much time with the salesperson to explain each and everything, different options, different pricing. And this platform will help a lot in that way too.
Okay. Final question. How are you going to make any money? Who's paying for it?
So dealers will be paying for it, and then we'll make platform in a way so customer can make purchase like in the final nets, so they can get contracts through the platform, and then customers will also pay small fees too.
Right.
Yeah. Thanks.
Great, really thorough questioning there. Thanks, Oscar. Barath, anything you'd like to add to that?
Sure. Yeah, great pitch, Guri. Yeah, I don't have any question, but I really resonated with what Oscar said as well. I think in your pitch, the link between the problem and the solution didn't feel strong enough. I don't feel like, the pitch of replacing, demo visit with your software is the most powerful pitch for you. Maybe it's an addition to the, because customers, like Oscar said, I'm not sure how much they would value just looking at a software rather than going to a place, right?
Yeah.
So you can look at the problem definition a bit from a different angle.
Yeah.
And just, do a bit more work in that, like exactly what problem you're solving. I think the link.
I totally understand that, Barath. Yeah, it won't totally replace the display homes, but it will minimize. So
yeah, that's the feedback. That's the feedback, because your pitch sounded like that. So if you want to refine the pitch to communicate that accordingly, that would be of value.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Great work. Thank you so much, Guri and the judges. So our next pitcher in line is Brian Borg from Cutting Edge Pet Solutions. Welcome, Brian.
Yeah, thank you.
Whenever you're ready, we're ready for you.
I got my stopwatch here as well, and go. Okay, so what I have done is solve the problem with dental disease with dogs. So periodontal disease, 80% of dogs by the time they're 3.5 globally have periodontal disease. In wild populations, it's less than 2% because they hunt, they use their teeth properly, and they don't have that issue because they're tearing meat and using their mouth like they're supposed to. Domestic dogs put the food in the bowl, they eat it up really quickly, and by the time they're 3.5, they have periodontal disease, which leads to many health problems. So what I've invented is a way to use dental treats. Dental treats are out in the market, and they come in many shapes and sizes, but the problem is they only do the back teeth. They do nothing for the front, because I don't know if you have a dog or not, but for ones who do have a dog, dogs will just chew on their back teeth, and they won't use their front teeth at all. So the front teeth will become full of plaque, but the pet industry are selling dental treats as if they will clean all the dog's teeth, but they actually won't. The other thing is dogs have a favorite side they chew on, so they don't. It doesn't help with one side gets cleaned really well, one side not as much. So what I've done is I've created a system where I isolate a dental treat, and this dental treat is isolated. Where am I? I'm not seeing my camera for some reason.
You're in. We can see you.
Okay, it's all good. Okay, yeah. I isolate the dental treat so the dog can only come in at one angle. So I'll do it this way so you can see it better. On this side, he can use one side of his mouth, and then the opposite side, he uses the other side of his mouth. So this makes him use both sides equally. Then inside the bowl, there's a dental treat in the bowl, and there's no dental treat in the world that makes him use their teeth inside the bowl. So this makes him chew a dental treat using his front teeth. There's also a rubber mat with little tiny dental treats. And when the dog goes to take the treats out, he actually is brushing his own teeth by engaging the mat while he's pulling out the treats. I've got patents. I've done my trials. I've got patents in actually Australia, New Zealand, Japan.
Brian, we're
Korea,
out of time,
US.
but what we'll do is we'll enable you to answer these questions when the judges ask them. So very thorough. Thank you so much. It's the first time I've seen an actual prototype right on screen. So thank you so much. Who would like to give some feedback first?
Lots. It's very hard to put all that into 90 seconds. So yeah, there's just too much to explain. Anyways, go ahead.
Barath?
This is outside of my area, so I'll let Oscar go.
Barath, do you want to go first, or?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, I think given the pitch timing, I think if you're going to have a pitch, my feedback would be to focus on the business and the problem. I think you are very excited to show your product, and that's what a lot of founders do, right? Like we see in all the world, they get too much into the product and start explaining it. And I'm like still wondering like what is the exact problem that you're trying to solve, because I heard like you saying, the industry is selling the product like this, but that's not what they do. But really, do customers know that? What is that, exact problem? Is there a market for it? Is there demand for it? I didn't get all those pieces, right?
It's too hard to put into 90 seconds, basically.
Yeah, I would
Near
prioritize that.
impossible, because there's a lot of you have to set the basis of what's happening, and to do it in 90 seconds, it's near impossible. There's too much going on there. It's basically talking about dental treats, which dogs use to clean their teeth, but they only do a substandard job. Every dental treat on the market.
Perfect.
Okay. Great. Look, I having got a dog who's 12 years old, and I know that she's got problems, and I hate those bloody dental things that they seem to chew in 2 seconds and they're gone.
Exactly. Yeah. And they only do back teeth though. The front teeth get zero.
But I think I reiterate what Barath's saying. I reckon you could say what you're doing in about 10 to 15 seconds, because there are so many questions I've got about this that you didn't address. My big question is, there are some big companies in pet foods and in pet
massive Mars, Nestle's,
and I can't. One of the problems that we always find is if you go up against an incumbent, you've got very little chance of success. Have you thought about what you do with this? Are you trying to
license it,
or
I could license it? So I have patents. I have a lot of patents. I've got $200,000 in patents of my own money. I've funded this from the ground up.
Yep.
So, for example,
but what is your current plan to take this to market, or to take this to a company, or what's your next step? You've got it.
I do have a couple. I have more than one. I have more than one choice.
Yeah.
I could license it to someone like Mars Company, who owns Greenies.
Yep.
Because I can do something they can't do. They're not going to like that, obviously. So I could license it to them, or I could just launch the thing myself with an investor, of course, which that means there's tooling to get this bowl made. I need a specific bowl. And the thing is once they get this bowl, they can only buy my treats. They've also patented the shape of this here. So only my dental treat will fit in there. So it's like you buy a printer, you got to keep buying the ink or coffee pods on an espresso. There's reoccurring consumables. That's where the real money's at. The bowl, the system that holds the treats in place to target the front teeth or the back teeth on the left or right side. Because the dental treats you said you give your dog, he'll chew in the back, but if he chews a lot on his left side, that looks good, but the right side could be shot. And the front teeth never got any benefit ever. But they're sold to you as if they benefit the whole mouth, but they actually don't.
As I said, totally.
Yeah.
I have to laugh. You're a classic inventor. I love inventors.
Yeah.
You are so passionate about your product. But that's not where the dollars are. The dollars are in what you do with it. I've seen hundreds and hundreds of brilliant ideas, but it's what you do the next step that's the key part to this. And for me, my feedback is you need to get some help or some thought around how to do that and what is your best option to take. Brilliant product, but we're still at that early stage of where to go next. What is the commercial process to get this to market? Right.
Well, it's like I said, to me, I'm happy to license it. That's fine. I've obviously got to get in front of the right people, which is not easy.
Yeah, that's a difficult path to tread in its own right. So that needs certain things to be done as well. So it's just deciding on which way to go. Right.
And then obviously I could launch and manufacture myself, which is expensive, very.
Yeah.
And just a matter of getting someone who sees the idea, and if they like it, they like it. If they don't, just keep pushing.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian. It was a very innovative way to be able to pitch. So thank you so much.
No worries.
Okay. So our next pitcher in line is Rotem Salomonovitch from Rassify. So Rotem, whenever you are ready, please unmute yourself, and we'd love to hear your startup.
I'd love to do it. I don't know how I got to the list, but I apologize, but I'll give it a shot if you like, just off the cuff.
Do it.
Rassify is a B2B SaaS company focused in the data extraction market. We deal in a market that's about $15 billion market that is made up of public cloud providers, made out of specialized IoT data extraction and data aggregator providers, and some bespoke providers for data aggregation. By 2025, enterprises will be focused more and more on using data to make decisions to drive competitiveness in the market. The issue that they have is that data aggregations are predominantly been built for cloud deployments, focusing on data sets that are in the cloud, not built for extracting data from remote locations, such as offices, homes, manufacturing plants, and the like. In that space is very fragmented. Rassify looks to kind of make a ubiquitous platform that extracts data from all locations, cloud, on-premise, traditional, or next-gen, in order to empower the next generation of these data-driven decision makers. We currently have 3 customers on the platform. We've been around for 12 months. We have our first release of a product. We launched it August this year. We release version 2 in March of next year. Currently, we are focused on the transportation market, we're an asset-intensive industry. And our first customer that we have seen, which is driven our market selection, is the Asia Pacific market, where we see a lot of investment being made at the frontier markets, not at the mature Australian, New Zealand, or US or Europe market, rather focused on the Asia Pacific market, where we look to further penetrate through partners. I think I heard the...
Yes, you did. Thank you. Well done, and well done going off the cuff. Fabulous. So, James, would you like to start off this feedback session?
Yeah, it'll be short and sweet from me, because again, this is outside my comfort zone. But look, I'll ask a dumb question. What are people doing at the moment? How are they solving their problem right now? That obviously they're still doing something, right? So what's broken that needs fixing?
Good question. So today, the solution space is very fragmented. So large banking industries, transportation and like use in-house sources to develop their bespoke solution, which drive a very large maintenance and integration activity. The mid-market goes to the public cloud providers, where they outsource all their data to the public cloud providers and lose control of their data. There's a shift with cybersecurity impacts in the market, where you really want to take the control of data in-house while alleviating the complexities of integration and internal IT skills. We need to fit that gap, where you simplify the requirement for internal skills while maintaining data sovereignty and control within the enterprise. So it's a mixture of both worlds, and I think that's where the proposition sits.
Okay, yeah, no, again, deep knowledge sometimes means it's hard to simplify. So in layman's terms, I still don't get it. But risk management, security, cost, time, like it's going to be something like that, something that's really big, and it's like a painkiller. They need a painkiller, not a vitamin. So it's not something they want to do. It's something either the regulator's saying, if you don't do this, I'm going to fine you, or they've had a data breach and it cost them $1 billion, or they lost 1,000 clients. It's got to be something that's driving them to say, I've got to change. Or is it just competitive advantages? Like, if I don't do it, I'm going to get gobbled up, or I'm going to be basically behind the 8 ball. But I think I'd like to hear something like that. This is the problem, and this is why they have to solve that problem, and hence we are positioned to solve it. Because I need to have that before I understand, okay, I'm listening now, right? You got my attention. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thanks for the feedback.
Fabulous. Oscar, Barath.
Yeah.
Yes, Oscar.
Where do I start? Really brilliant pitch, given it was off the cuff. I take my hat off to you. You obviously know your stuff really, really well. That came through really brilliantly. Where I still am completely lost is, what do you do with this idea? So, yeah, you've identified that there's a problem. You've presumably got a solution. Who's your target market? Is it, please don't say everybody.
No.
Yeah. So who's your target market? How are you going to go to market with this? Is this a one-off, recurrent revenue SaaS solution? Is it part of a company's IT stack? What's the way that you're taking it to market and implementing it?
Yeah, a target audience or ideal customer profile is in the transportation or asset intensive industry. So these smart buildings, smart manufacturing, and transportation. That's it. The personality in there is the data champion, the chief digital officer, the chief data officer that sits in that organization. The way we reach that is through system integrator in the local country or in the region we target. We currently have 2 partners that take us to go to market. Those are system integrators and managed service providers that manage the IT stack for these target customers.
Okay, and what's your business model? Is it a recurrent revenue? Is it a one-off purchase?
Yeah, it's a combination. We have an appliance that is a once-off, but really the licensing is based on a recurring monthly model based on data volume consumed.
Right. And does it rely on the cloud or is it put in on-prem?
The appliance sits on-prem as we have a security framework that requires, and we suggest the way to avoid cybersecurity attacks is by removing items off the internet.
Yep.
And that appliance is the gateway between the internet and the private location, but it's fully orchestrated and managed from the cloud. So it's a hybrid cloud and on-premise software plus hardware solution. The hardware perpetual, software license recurring monthly based on data volumes consumed.
Okay. So now I understand a bit. I'll give you a bit of feedback on it. I think that similar to what James said, I think, as I said, you did a great job off the cuff. But if you want to refine it, you need to try and describe the problem really quickly and then get into your solution, including the commercial side of your solution. Because without that, I'm all at loss. I don't have anything to put my anchor down and understand what you're doing. Thanks.
Thank you for the feedback. I appreciate it.
Fabulous. Wow. Such in-depth conversations all in like 5 minutes. All right. So our next person to pitch is Ishita Shinde from Paymate.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, everyone. I want to let you know that global digital payments are projected to reach 8.7 trillion by 2024. Mobile payment transactions are exceeding $1 trillion, which indicates a widespread adoption of mobile wallets. Are you tired of juggling multiple cards and clunky payment systems? I want to introduce you to Paymate. Paymate is a revolutionary platform that simplifies your life with one single QR code for all your payment needs. So imagine this, effortlessly integrating all your cards and payment sources into one secure platform. You can now accept payments from diverse sources with unmatched ease and security. You can gain valuable business insights by effortlessly tracking transactions for small businesses as well as big. Imagine making large transactions with triple layered security and also exclusive user benefits such as coupons and hassle-free bill payments. So with Paymate, which is a digital wallet, you can now pay your rent, groceries, bills, send money to friends, and businesses can accept money from all major payment methods. So Paymate is convenient, secure, versatile, smart, as well as rewarding for your future payments. Thank you.
Yeah, well done.
I'm so sorry. I was really nervous. So
you did a great job. Brilliant job. Just breathe in, breathe out, and listen to some incredible feedback. Speaking of which, who'd like to start? Barath, we haven't heard from you first in a little while. I'm just going to throw you in there. Barath.
I didn't hear you if you mentioned my name. So I'm like,
yes, Barath, please.
Yeah, I don't know. I think yeah, good pitch, well done. You know, feeling the fear and doing it anyways. I heard a lot of amazing things of what your product can do, but I just like, you know, as I hear it, I was just wondering how is that gonna work, right? Because you're saying it's gonna accept multiple payment options, it's gonna do this, like. Creating one payment option itself is a big business. It's a hard enough platform to develop, right?
Yeah.
So what is your software actually do? Is it just like an integration, QR code integrated to multiple payment methods?
Yeah.
Or is it actually you're creating your own payment methodology, or what is it? That wasn't
So you can think of it as a platform. So here, what we do is you can have multiple bank accounts linked, you can have multiple cards linked. And if you want to receive money, our tech team will develop one single QR code, and you can select which primary bank account you want that money to go in, and you can change that bank account whenever you want. So obviously the QR code will change a little bit, which will happen on the app itself. And it becomes easier because certain people don't use certain other applications. And with about 60%, with about 560,000 small businesses in Melbourne itself, they face a lot of issue because of these payment methods, because a lot of different people are using different payment methods. So what we will be doing primarily is having like a digital wallet, and where you can add money, or you can, remove money and put it back into your account as well.
Isn't that what all PayPal, Square, Stripe, they all can do that, right? You can do
Yeah, but
all of that.
Right. So the difference is that if you look at Melbourne itself, and as I said, with small businesses, a lot of people don't use PayPal. A lot of people prefer using, let's say, only Apple Wallet. So if I compare to Apple Wallet, what Paymate is doing is, with Apple Wallet, only iOS users can use this particular payment method. If I don't have an iPhone, I cannot send money or receive money from you, right? And similarly with PayPal, a lot of users are not actually using it. So what we are thinking of doing is one unified payment platform for all the users, primarily in Melbourne or in Australia.
Sure.
Okay.
And I feel like with businesses, we also give them a way for small businesses. A lot of them, 60% of them, don't hire a lot of employees. So when we give them statistics, or we give them data on their transactions, they get insights on the kind of money they're making, the kind of clients they need to work on. So we are giving them that value, which we can think about, charging for later.
Okay. Great. James, questions, feedback?
Yeah, look, Ishita, the only thing I would say is, having been around some of these and having invested in many, it's never as easy as it seems when it comes to the back end. The front end, yes. The customer onboarding, the whole concept of marketing, not a problem, probably even the pricing. But when it comes to integrations with banks, integrations with Visa and MasterCard, having to either have that, if you're not having that, I don't know how it works, but like most of the people end up having to dive in and become almost like a mini financial institution. And they don't think they have to, but they're driven that way because of regulation. And so you're ending up at the big end of what you need to get in terms of money to make that work. Because once you've gone so far, you can't stop. So you kind of like try and get even more money. I just wonder whether that's what would be the differentiator, or is there a smarter way of being some sort of an aggregator or a post office, without actually having to go into that depth of literally taking on the financial risk and responsibility? Because it seems like that's what I'm thinking for your own. So sometimes it's smart to see the problem, but not try and be the complete solution. Just be part of that solution, and preferably the part that everyone else needs to integrate into theirs to make it work, without actually being the solution, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
Oscar, any final words to add? No? All right. Thank you so much, Ishita. And again, really, really well done. We could not tell that you were nervous, so you did a great job.
Thank you so much.
All right. Our next pitcher is the one and only Alex Husenbeth with Breaby. Alex, please unmute yourself. Whenever you're ready, we are ready.
Perfect. I'm also ready. And yeah, so I want to tell you about the Breaby Assistant. It's a device to help you living more healthily in buildings. And you may all know the feeling when you are in a room or indoors and you feel tired. It's called sick building syndrome. And it also lowers the productivity and costs around 10,000 Australian dollars a year for a company. And the reason is that in most buildings, we don't have enough fresh air because very often we rely on manual airing. So we need to open a window to get fresh air in the building. And the Breaby Assistant uses sensors and smart technology to change the behavior. Similar to a smartwatch that is doing it to get fitter, this assistant is helping with the air freshness. In some cases, there might even be arguments how to open the windows, and some people might get too cold. We stopped that. In the last few months, we built a team. We are 4 people now, and funding is in reach. But where we don't have so much experiences in going to the market, we are already doing tests with clients, and we discovered 2 use cases, the real estate use case and the workplace health use case. And we are also in contact with some stakeholders like health insurances, but that is kind of the ask now to get some more advice in the go-to-market and the product strategy.
Timing is everything, Alex. Well done. Really well done. All right. Who would like to provide some feedback first?
Before I go into the feedback, Alex,
Right.
so your product is a sensor that's going to sense how much oxygen or fresh air there, and then going to tell them on an app interface that they need to open the window. Is that
So
what
yeah, it's a device. It's hardware and software. And the idea is that the device does not require an app because, for example, in an office, in a co-working place, or in an Airbnb, you might not always want everyone to engage with an app with the environment, but there will be detailed data analysis and reporting in an app that is planned.
Sure. So your product would have a display and it will tell the users it's time to open the window, something like that.
Exactly, kind of like that.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, pitch-wise, I think it was a good pitch. You covered a lot of different aspects of your business, in terms of where you are at and what you need. So that's all great. Yeah, from a product, I guess there's pitch feedback and there's product feedback. Yeah, from product feedback, I've been to buildings and I felt that I didn't know the term before, sick building syndrome, do you say?
Yeah.
Yes. My first thing was like, in my office, there's no windows to open. There is like, I don't know how much of the sick building syndrome is just because people don't open the window. If there's a window that is easy to open, is that a big enough problem? I wonder as I hear to your pitch. A lot of these apartments and things don't even have a window. It's all just fully closed. That was my first thought as I was listening to your pitch. But other than that, good pitch. Thank you.
Great. James?
I think Oscar was going to jump in, so I'll just...
Oscar, all yours.
Oh, I was just going to follow that up because my question is really simple. What's your target market?
Yeah, so at the moment, the target, in the long-term vision, we can even see it as like a B2C product. But at the moment, also talking to a lot of people, it seems the most interesting for companies, especially like what you mentioned, if you cannot open a building in a company building, it's often the case you might be able to adjust the ventilation system based on more knowledge you have. But if you have employees working from home and they are not opening their window, if they have like a few sick days because of that, it already pays off to give them the device working from home to be reminded to open their window better. And that's why we focus at the moment on companies for the employer health, and also the health insurance is actually doing exactly that. They, at least in Germany, they go to companies and they have a big checklist and they check different things from like the diet. They offer cooking classes also to the ergonomics of the office and so on. And so we already got some feedback that they are interested in it.
So my problem with it, and I'd like this, because I think what we're trying to do is to give you some feedback about how investors might look at it or things like that. The things that worry me about this is the obvious market is the one where you have more potential for sick building syndromes. My understanding is that is multi-story buildings have a much bigger problem than individual houses. Now, most multi-story buildings have smart building systems that integrate right across the building that are run by a building manager. So most users have no input and no ability to change their environment inside a larger building. So how does your solution impact that?
So this is actually a very interesting feedback, because in Germany the buildings are not that smart yet. So maybe this is what we need to focus on, to focus on the market where this is not the case, because in this direction there's a trend that data is measured, and then there are like other solutions where they do like kind of public shaming platforms where they show, oh, there's bad air, don't rent there. But this is, to be honest, something I don't want to do, because
I think in Australia, look, I would hazard a guess that you've got a lot of old building stock in Germany, and it's definitely a problem with old buildings. I don't know, the Australian thing seems to be rip them down and build a new one when they get to 10 or 15 years old. I'm putting tongue in cheek a little bit there for anybody who has a go at me, but we do tend to, a lot of companies do tend to focus on wanting 5-star and 6-star buildings now, and they all have these fully integrated systems. You know, there's all sorts of things. So I'd be really interested in any market that you've done in that sense. So that would be the feedback.
Thanks, Oscar. Any final words there, James?
Yeah, no, I'd love to have a chat, Alex. You know, I know where you're coming from, but I agree with what Oscar says. There's a lot of things going on there right now in regulation as well to consider. So yeah.
All right. There you go, Alex. You can connect with James and have an offline conversation. Okay, so we are up to our second last pitch for this evening, and that person pitching is Danny Djarum from PySnap. Danny, whenever you're ready, we are ready.
Hi, thanks, Anna. Can you guys all hear me?
Yep.
All right, awesome. So I'm Danny, co-founder of PySnap. So we are helping small e-commerce sellers to transform their product photos with AI. So as you know, the e-commerce sector is growing, and it is growing rapidly. However, if you look at the data, you will realize that majority of the sales volume are dominated by a small percentage of top sellers. And this leaves the smaller seller unable to compete. And the reason why is because 90% of buyers, when they first click into your products, the first thing that they look at is your photo. So if you don't have a good photo, then you don't get attractions. But if you want a good photo, then that means you have to spend a lot of money getting it professionally photographed, or spend countless of hours doing it yourself. So we believe that there is a better way to do this. So with PySnap, all you need to do is just upload your product to our platform and choose the scene that you want. It could be an ocean, forest, living room, or any scene. And we'll generate a realistic background that matches your product. And all this in just a few seconds, and at fraction of what it costs today. So we are currently in a working MVP stage with paying customer. So, you know, join us in, you know, leveling the playing field between the small business owner and the big players. That's all from me, and thank you. Sorry, I couldn't hear you, Anna. I think you are muted.
I am muted. Look at me go. I'm telling you all to manage your own mute button. Or we all make mistakes. I am going to throw it over to James. We'd love to hear your feedback on this, and then we'll go back round to Barath and Oscar.
Yeah, look, Daddy, I've had the problem. You can tell. God knows how long it took me to get this faux brick wall behind me put in place, and I ended up getting a real one, which didn't work anyway. So look, I'm probably customer number 1 or number 100 and whatever. But in reality, apart from that, I don't really have much of an idea about how big that market is, or even how you corner that, in the sense of how someone doesn't come along 2 seconds after you've become somewhat famous and just kind of like knock you off with the next biggest, cheapest, whatever. It seems to be one of those markets that would be hard to become dominant in, you know, have a moat of some sort. But I'd love to hear how you plan to do that, right? How you plan to get into one sector, eke out that sector, become dominant in that sector, and who it is, who the beachhead market is, and what the typical kind of profile of a customer would look like.
Thank you, James. So currently, what you say is true. The market is big, and that also means that there'll be a lot of competitors. But currently, we are focusing on small business owners that has a digital presence. So in fact, what we're focusing right now is beauty products that are handmade. So that's really the type of market that we're targeting right now, and most of our customers are currently within those niche. But one thing that is very interesting is that a lot of digital agencies has been approaching us, and they seem to have this problem as well. In fact, a lot of them don't actually do content creation because of how hard product photography is and how expensive it could be. So they have been quite interested in our product. And yep, so those are the two markets that we're currently really looking at.
Great. Thank you so much, James, and good answers there, Danny. Oscar, Barath, looks like you're ready.
Yeah, I missed the second bit of the chat because my internet was down. Apologies. I would like to hear where your business is at the moment. It looks like you have a product ready. You have some customers. Can you talk about where you are at in the journey?
Oh, yep. So we are currently at a working MVP stage. So we have a few paying customers, and we are currently looking to raise fund in order to scale our platform and just do marketing. And also we need funding to acquire more GPUs to train our model. Yeah, so that's where we are at right now.
Sure.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Barath? I think Barath might be having connectivity issues. You guys can all hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. Oscar, did you want to...
that you have at the moment?
Sorry.
Barath, we lost you there for a second. You're back.
Apologies, guys. My internet. I was asking a follow-on question. Who are those paying customers that are paying you? What kind of industry and market?
Okay. So most of our paying customers right now are Etsy sellers, and they are specifically on the beauty products market, homemade beauty products. So one of our customer, which is what do you call this? I'm sorry. Stay-at-home mother. So she's been our customer for a few months. And last month alone, she made about $20,000. So she had been seeing an increase in sales and traffic to her sites after using our platform. Sorry for a little bit of
Great.
I'd lead with that next time, mate. I'm sorry to say, don't read the headline. Like if you've got something like that to say, bring it in as an example.
All right. Will do. Thank you for the feedback.
Oscar?
Yeah, just quickly. As someone who is desperately interested in AI and has probably tried out 20 or so platforms, every single one, the marketing spiel is way, way, way better than the actual results that you see. So realistically, how good do you think your product is? And don't give me the marketing spiel, give me the real technical spiel. Where are you at with really solving? Because product placement and product photography is hard to get the right balance of exposure and light and background and everything. So how close have you got to real perfection of that?
Okay. Thank you, Oscar. So when it comes to our platform, we are really focusing on three things. So first is quality, and then control, and then efficiency. So with quality, we really want you to not give up anything in terms of quality, right? So we want to generate something that still has the same quality as if you go to a professional photographer and get it professionally shot. So I think where we're at right now, we are very close to achieving that with our model. Yeah. And the second thing is control, right? So a lot of this text-to-image AI model, they don't really give you control. You can type in what you want, but then you cannot really control the style and the generation of these models. So what we are offering you here is that we have this style cloning features where you could just give it any type of styles that you want, any example. Maybe it's from your brand identity, and you could introduce it to the model, and we could generate something that matches those styles. So we give you control over the generations. And thirdly is efficiency. This is something that we are still working on, but we hope that by the end we could make you able to run this model locally on your phone. We're still currently running it on a expensive GPU, and it is is not cost effective. So ideally, we want to be able to run it on your phone locally on device. So that's our goal.
Great. Thank you so much, Danny. You've even got some people looking to trial your product. So that's a very, very
Awesome.
good indication of a good pitch. Okay, so we have now come to our final speaker, or final pitcher for this evening. Unfortunately, we will not have time for impromptus, but if you are there and you have been thinking about it, I would recommend for you to register for our next event, and we'll talk about how to do that before the end of this one. All right, so let us put our hands together for our final speaker, Shakti Chauhan from Nauggets 2.0. Whenever you're ready, we're ready.
Hi everyone. My name is Shakti. I hope I'm audible. Thumbs up if you can hear me.
Yep.
Great. Thanks a lot for your time this evening. I'm Shakti and I'm representing Nauggets, where we try to democratize fractional gold ownership of the world's oldest asset class, gold. Our goal is to basically make this asset class spendable and usable for everyday consumers by allowing them to buy, save, spend, and pay in gold. Our idea is effectively to associate and attach a bank account to a user's gold holdings and give them with a debit card so that they can spend it similar to any other bank card or bank product that they have. The entire project is split into two parts. First is to provide a simplistic platform so that users can wire their money, back it by like real physical digital gold, and then by using that deposit, generate revenue for the users and to scale it to a fully scalable gold bullion bank. Our product is live on Play Store and on iOS. So please feel free to download the app, and would be looking forward to getting your feedback. So that's a very short summary of what we're trying to do, and I would love to hear any questions or any specifics that you guys might have. Just as a final point, we have around 3,300 users, and since beginning we had scaled up our deposit base to around $2.3 million worth of gold deposits, and now we are trying to basically prune our user base from 6 countries to 1, where we have noticed the least amount of fraud and maximum adoption, which is Australia. Sorry, I just went 20 seconds over.
No worries, Shakti. Thank you so much. Who would like to provide some feedback first? Thoughts, ideas?
Yeah,
James?
hi. It's interesting what you're saying. It's actually something that I think a lot of people have tried and most have failed to do. And there's lots of reasons for that. The first one being regulation. I don't quite understand how you are structuring this in the sense of, if you're not a bank, if you don't have a financial institution or some sort of a license, who's putting the assets where and under whose control? Like, how does that work? I understand the logics of, cutting it into small pieces and having a debit card attached to a bank account, but I can't quite understand where's the money or where's the gold and under whose control.
So the money is sitting in the form of gold in Brink's vault. Just to focus on this particular aspect, around the world, effectively you have 2 baskets of countries. Some countries have strict regulations around aggregating user funds and backing it by gold, right? Whereas on the other hand, you have countries such as Australia, UK, and most countries in Europe except Netherlands, where you can aggregate user funds and you effectively, when you back the user funds by gold, you don't need a financial license, right? So effectively, it's like you could simply aggregate user funds and back it by a bunch of cotton socks, right? So you wouldn't need any license. But if it's backed by physical gold 1-to-1, you don't need any license for that, as long as you can demonstrate the gold is sitting in a credit vault such as Brink's, which our product does.
Okay, have you got someone in your company that does forwards and futures and understands the concept of hedging? Because mark to market, all that sort of stuff, gold comes in at price 1, 2 days later it's price +2, +5, -50. So that has to go through the ledger to the bank account. I mean, this sounds like, I'm not trying to give you a lesson here, but I've done this before. So I guess that's the part that must be most interesting to try and sort out, because if you can sort that out, then of course the product has scalability and global scalability.
Yeah, so I lead the product part in our business, and my background is in algo trading at one of the bulge bracket banks, and I'm also an investor in one of the leading gold refineries. So exactly what you said, right? We are backing the user products by physical gold. So at this point, there's no notion of derivatives or forward contracts, right? So it's one-to-one backed by physical gold. However, as the product scales up, that is the set of instruments we would like to leverage to enhance user return while ensuring that the risk profile does not creep up. Just if you allow me to expand on this further, in 2020 specifically, BIS, Bank of International Settlements, which is usually referred to as a central bank for all the central banks, allowed physical gold to be reclassified as a zero risk weighted asset. Basically what that means is you could have a bank which aggregates user deposits, backs all of it by physical gold, and this is considered as low risk as a treasury of that country, right? So that effectively allows you to build a commercially viable and a super scalable gold-backed bullion bank. And this is particularly this investment strategy that has traditionally been deployed by banks such as JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, ICBC, so on and so forth. So while we are focused on a more consumer-friendly app, the intent is as this product scales up, hopefully, we would be able to transition into effectively a commodities desk where we still leverage one-to-one backing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. Thank you.
Sure.
Great. Oscar?
I'm sorry, I might be a little slow, but I want to just continue on with James's question, if you don't mind. So you're backing it one-to-one with gold. So as your exposure to your customers' dollars goes up and down, you have to match that with an exposure on your gold side. So you'll be buying and selling gold all the time. Is that right?
So yeah, so if you like, allow me to expand upon that, right? So let's say a user wires in $100 worth of gold. So the user has an option. Effectively, what the user is purchasing is they're purchasing that much amount of fractional gold. Yep. So let's say $100 on a US dollars worth buys you 1.5 grams of gold, for example, right? So effectively, you have one gold bar. Gold bar is as 1,000 grams. So that particular ownership is assigned. So at that point of time, we have zero risk, right? Because the user has acquired that much of gold grams.
Hold on. You've just jumped a whole step. You've got to buy a whole gold bar before you sell even one minuscule fraction of it. Otherwise, you don't have cover of it. So you've got risks straight away with the unsold portion of whatever you've got. I think that's what James is getting at, or that's certainly what I thought I understood it. You've got inherent risk because go back to a really simple one. WeWork signed long-term leases for buildings and then chopped it up and sold it off as weekly systems. And that introduced risk. The minute you buy gold in a bar, split it up and sell bits of it, you've got an inherent risk profile in there, right? I think that's what we're trying to question. How do you manage that risk profile? Because you're buying and sell, even at the block level, you're buying and selling gold bars all the time. That's the bit I think that is the problem area, apart from the regulatory area. And that's the bit I don't think we understood how you've managed to do that.
Sure. Right. Thank you, Ross.
All right,
Thank you. We're out of time. You might have to think about that for next time, Shakti. We'd love to have you back to redo the pitch and see if you can really nail that element of that so that the judges can really see the progression and help you build and grow. So this has wrapped up our session around the pitching part of this evening. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 10 minutes. We're going to go into breakout rooms. During those 10 minutes, our judges are going to be discussing who are our winners and allocating their prizes. So please make sure you stick around. And everybody else is going to get a chance to do some networking. So in a moment, there'll be a link that pops up for you to join a breakout room. If you are heading into the networking section, please make sure that you guys speak to each other, share who you are, what you do. Potentially for those who are listening to the pitches, provide some feedback. For those who are pitching, maybe add some more information, ask for connections, ask for support. And we will see you back in this room in about 10 minutes to announce the winners. So stick around. And team who's got the breakout rooms ready, we would love to see that invitation pop up, please. Perfect. Hello, hello, welcome back. I trust you guys had a good chat. The fact that you didn't all jump back straight into this room means that you guys were all having a lovely conversation. I hope there have been connections. I hope there have been lots of good feedback and encouragement and support, because at the end of the day, you know, it's a small community and we are here to support each other and really support growth in this land of entrepreneurship. But you're not here to tell me for me to tell you some powerful stuff about how you could be a better, more empowered entrepreneur. You are here to find out who won the prizes. So without much further ado, I'm just going to do some, and I am going to announce some winners. So our winner from our sponsor, which is Paymate, which is from Brian and Oscar, was Rotem. Rotem, off the cuff, you came, you spoke, you won. Are you still here?
I think Rotem's gone.
I think Rotem, wow, that is our winner. We're going to stick to it. So, David, you're going to have to get in touch with Rotem and let him know that he's won the amazing prize from Paymate, which is the Germinate Seed program, which is a 12-week program to help you go from everything from ideation right through to potential fundraising and exit strategy. So thank you so much, the guys from Paymate. And if you are looking to build a product or a platform in SaaS or in apps, please do reach out to these guys. And, you know, you can always do their program and pay for it, because it is a great program and it's really there to support business owners and entrepreneurs. Our second prize winner for this evening is from James. And James, I don't think Brian's here either.
No, Brian,
James has actually chosen Brian for his prize. James is going to talk to Brian about how he can pitch his products better and go to market more effectively with a physical product rather than a digital product. And that is a $997 USD package. And our final prize, which is from Ideas Spies, which is the largest online ideas publication, is going to Danny. Danny from PySnap. So Danny, you've got a great product. We were really, really excited about it. And again, that is your gift and that is your prize, and David will reach out to you and support you in being able to claim. And that's for all the prize winners. We will be in touch, even though they seem to have dropped off. We must not have made it exciting enough for them to want to stay on and come back. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Our next event is actually going to be in February. It is the 1st of February. So please do pop that into your calendars. We want to see you back here. We want to hear you pitch again. We want to see you come back and support the people who are pitching, as well as connect with this incredible community. And the final thing I'd like you guys to do is there is a link in the chat. It says, please give us some feedback. Before you click off, please click that link and just give me a thumbs up once you've clicked that link. It is a short form. It will help us to create a better event for everybody here. So we do value feedback. Feedback is the breakfast of champions. That's why you guys are all here to listen. So we would love for you to do us the same due diligence as we've done for you and provide some feedback to us. Give me a thumbs up if you've clicked on the link. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Who hasn't? Yes. Fabulous. Okay. Thank you all so much. Thank you again to our sponsors, Paymate. Thank you to our judges, Barath, Oscar, and James. It's always so insightful to hear your incredible questions. Thank you to all the people who pitched this evening. It takes guts to stand up, even in a virtual environment, and share your startup and listen to feedback and take on that feedback. And we're here to support that growth. So if you heard something that made you feel a little bit not so happy, that is the exact advice you should be listening to, because that's the part that really kind of drive us for growth. So from Silicon Beach and everybody here, congratulations to all the people who have won. Have an absolutely fabulous day, night, evening, and we will see you back here in a couple of months. Keep an eye on your inbox for invitations. Bye, everybody.
Bye, and have great holidays. Celebrate,
Yes.
relax.
Bye-bye.
Yes, that's true. Happy holidays to everybody.
There's
Bye.
a-